I want you to take a moment and think of about the word success. What picture comes to your mind when you hear the word success? Is it a higher degree? Is it a job title? Or six-figure in your bank account? For me, success was very simple. It's getting higher degrees. And I want to share with you a story about what that definition of success cost me. It's the story of two PhD students. They were studying in the beautiful, vibrant country of Malaysia. They were friends, both on the same path, but they decided to walk it in two different ways. The first student decided to focus solely on her studies to finish on time. She postponed everything, exploring the jungle of Borneo, wandering streets of Penang. She wants to finish on time and then explore the country later. But her friend, however, she managed to balance the time spent in library with the time spent exploring the country. Can you guess how this story ended? The first student, yes, she succeeded to finish on time, but submitted thesis, goal achieved, etc. But 2020 happened, the pandemic. The word COVID locked the world down, and her grand plan to travel the country vanished before her eyes, and she had to return home. Can you guess who that student was? It was me. I've been for years kind of the degree grade diggers. Even my dad noticed this when I was a child. One day he approached me and told me, "Honey, what score do you need to succeed in school?" I said, "Dad, we should have above 8 of 10. He said to me gently, "How about working very little to get barely 6 out of 10, and for the rest of the time you can just play?" He certainly noticed something in me. He wasn't against me being successful or ambitious or doing well at school. He just was against the weight I was putting on me as a child. He wanted me to be happy, content, and whole. He told me in a very warm and loving voice, "Honey, I just want to see the smile on your face." And seems that life, when we don't learn the lesson the easy way, it has to come back in different formats, even in the hard way. And you know what happened to me since I didn't take the advice of my dad. As a marketing teachers, we marketing professors, we tend to refer to psychology theories. And since my story isn't mine only, psychology has a name for it. It's called achievement goal theory. This theory tells us that we humans, we are driven by two types of goals: performance goals and mastery goals. The performance goals, which is at the bottom of the ladder, is when we seek to look smart, when we seek external validations, trophies, get the A's, receive the praise. When the inner voice asks us this question, did I do better than everyone else? But the mastery goals instead is when you seek the goal to get smart, to grow, to learn. When your inner voice asks you the question, did I get better than I was yesterday? That's the difference. For the first one, the purpose is to prove your ability. For the second one, the purpose is to improve your ability. And there is a difference between proving your ability and improving it. So why I choose this topic? We're living in a world of flex culture. A flex culture means it's a social behavior where people have this tendency to show off their wealth, success, stories on about to declare their status or success. It has been intensified recently through social media. It is full of flexers, examples of those influencers sharing the rent of luxury cars, or those fake wealth studios that they are mimicking private jets or plenty luxury penthouses or luxury cars, where people can walk in those studios and come out with digital life that isn't theirs, that isn't even theirs. In fact, I'm not against chasing your goals or being ambitious. The idea here is that your target should not be the finish line, but the journey itself. It seems that the society is pushing us towards performance and proving instead of growing. And here comes the question. In fact, can we grow organically? What do I mean by organic? In business setting, growing organically means when the company doesn't grow looking to buy other companies, but instead focusing on developing its core products, innovating, and building a loyal customer base. On social media, you probably heard about organic followers. They're the ones who find you naturally without paid ads. Science has something to say about this organic growth. In terms of by analogy, so organic personal growth refer that growth that comes from within, without looking for external forces or artificial goods. When you found your motivation, when your motivation is based on this external rewards or boosts, guess what will happen? You become fragile. When those external or artificial goods disappear, you lose your supporters, parents for example, or no one recognizes your efforts, your motivation crumbles. Your motivation and goals have to be founded, grounded. That's why we have this, what we call self-determination theory, that defines 3 dimensions to ground your goals. Let's think, I'm going to use the plant. For a plant, in order to grow, it needs the sunlight, and needs water, and a soil where it can grow its roots. So autonomy, let's think of it as the sunlight. Autonomy it explains that we as human beings, we have that need to take and control our life. The actions that we take, the decisions that we make, they have to be of our own, not scripted or dictated by others. Just like the sun, it only provides energy and warmth to the plant without dictating the direction where the plant should grow. And this is what exactly that did with me. He didn't stand on my way and shifted my mind from 8 out of 10 to 6 out of 10. The second dimension that we need to ground our goals with is competence. Think of competence like water for a plant. In order for the plant to push out its leaves and grow, we should not pour the water on it at once. We need to nourish it on a daily basis, providing the water for it on a daily basis. Exactly like us human beings. Competence is that things that matter to us that we need to master, the skills that we need to build, but piece by piece, not at once. The third one is our relatedness. We need to be competent and autonomous, but we need also our goals to be grounded in our relatedness. Relatedness is like the soil for the plant, where the plant needs to be planted in to grow its roots. Relatedness refers to the need that we have for connections, for true connections with family, friends, community. It goes also beyond beyond human connection. It extends to our culture and identity. So, speaking of identity, identity is not just a visual symbol like the Moroccan tile that we see it now everywhere. Even the Moroccan tile is more profound. It captures the artistry and geometry of our culture. But identity is more profound. Let's take a look at, we all remember this dance that Boufal had with his mom during our during the World Cup 2022 when our football team when the Portuguese won against the Portuguese. This celebration is not random, but it shows that this man, he's grounded in his Moroccan roots, which is family. Another aspect of identity, another eye-opening experience that I had, we all text each other in Arabic using French letters. But my Egyptian friend one day stopped me and he told me, why are you keeping texting me using French letters? And that simple question paused me for a while. And I started looking. I didn't know at the time that even my phone could have Arabic keyboard. Since then, I started texting Arabic in Arabic letter. Because as I said, identity is not visual. In our language, we should leave it. Not keeping it as a symbol. Recently, I was invited by the reading club as a judge for the Tokatun 2.0. I wasn't surprised to see the participants choosing language, English language, to speak up their minds, versus very few choosing the French language. This shift, I've been noticing it for a while. Even the barber shop next my where I live, he has on his shop halak next to it, barber. And in the past used to be halak next to it, coiffeur. And this makes me wonder, is this shift again an organic shift? And I'm leaving you with that question. Shall we think profoundly about the language of the teaching, the medium of the teaching? China, the second superpower, they teach even the most advanced subjects in their own language. They choose to be grounded in their own soil. Now, after answering the question that it is possible to grow organically and through building a goal that is based on 3 dimensions, autonomy, competence, and relatedness. Now, let's move to the question, does this organic growth has a sound? If the flex culture has the sound of the bling bling, your organic growth has a quieter sound. Made of 2 musical notes, patience and contentment. Patience is not being passive, waiting for the outcome to arise. Patience, I remember a quote from SAMIRA, who's an Egyptian billionaire. Once he said, to be successful, you have to be patient, not rush to reap the fruits. Those who are seeking short-term goals, there are so many. The competition there is very tough. But those who plant long-term goals, there you will find very few, and you will be the winner at the end. Patience is the sound of your roots. Let's take the example of the bamboo tree. You can water it and care for it for years, and without a single sprout cracking out of the soil. Within the 5th year, but inside, under the ground, it is silently building a complex, profound root system. And by the 5th year, and within just few weeks, then you can see it going tall up to 80 feet in the air. And same thing for your goals, if they are more profound and more grounded. The second sound for your organic growth is contentment, rida, contentment. Wherever stage you are, you have to feel that you are enough and you have accomplished enough. I go back to SAMIRA. He quoted one day one of his billionaire friends' experience that he said that you can be a millionaire and still feeling poor. Why? Because you're not grateful for what you have already. And you're not patient and you're not content. So bottom line, the more your goals are grounded in terms of relatedness, competence, and autonomy, the longer you sustain in your journey until you achieve them. Backed up by your patience and commitment. Backed up by your patience and commitment. And through your season of growth, never forget to keep that genuine smile on your face. Thank you.